Right then, guys and girls, Robin of Nottingham back again with a quick YouTube video. I'm going to be reviewing the arrows that I've made, specifically the heads, the hand-painted wooden blunt heads that were done by a friend of mine, Nick Keogh. I'll put his information in my description for this video for his Instagram account, which is probably the best way of contacting him should you wish to invest in some. So these arrows that I've made, like I say, the main thing that makes them so special is these wooden blunts. I'll do a little close-up in a second, but they are shafts that I had from Ian of Boston Bows. I'm going to do a video on the shafts that he does a separate occasion. This one, like I say, is focusing on the heads and these arrows that I've made. So I've made them as like practice blunts. They've got massive fletchings on, the biggest fletchings I could get out of a full-length feather. So huge fletchings to slow them down. They are nocked with a sliver of white ABS plastic, so rather than horn, just nice and straightforward kind of man-made material. Full 32 inches long from the from the nock to the shoulder of the point. And obviously, like I say, these are designed to be like a practice blunt to shoot at short range, almost like a flu, to slow them down nicely. And just, you know, as a nice arrow. I don't want to be shooting them where I'm expecting to lose them, because they are quite special, like I say. Nick's decorated one to represent me and the other two to represent my two boys. So yeah, they've got their initials on as well. So I'm going to do some close-up videos now of the arrowheads, the blunts, and you can have a little look. All right. So here's the first wooden blunt. That represents me. As you can see, a bit of a Robin Hood type theme. Really nicely done. Here's the next wooden blunt, which represents my son, whose name begins with L. Really nice. Excellent little detail on that. And here is the third wooden blunt, and again with my son's initial that starts with an A. So they are the wooden blunt heads. So as I've mentioned, I've got some huge fletchings on these. These are the biggest fletchings I could get out of a full length feather. You can see the white ABS nock instead of the horn, which is a quick, simple and easy way of working. And just some black polyester thread binding, just to kind of keep the nock secure, and also to keep the feathers secure on the leading edge so that they don't come off or, you know, take a chunk out of your hand when you're shooting. Bit of a pass through of the arrow, 1/2 inch tapered down to 3/8. There you go. So these will be perfect for shooting at a close range net. Big flu type fletching. And the nice decorative heads done by Nick, as mentioned. So the next thing to do with these is to shoot them. I've not shot them yet, so I'm very excited to see how they fly. I've brought my 2 Flatbows up from Joe Gibbs of Hillbilly Bows. One's 115 pounds at 32 inches. The other one's 135 pounds, so 20 pounds heavier at 32 inches. These arrows are 32 inches long, as I've mentioned, from the point head to the tip to the nock. So hopefully be able to get them at full draw out of the 115, and we'll see about the 135, because it is still a little bit too much for me at the moment, as I'm getting back into shooting the heavier bows after a year of lockdown, or 18 months of lockdown now. So yeah, I'm gonna get set up and get my bows out and give them a go, see how they fly. So this is my 115 flat bow from Joe Gibbs. I'm gonna see how these arrows fly. I'm gonna film back on, so hopefully you'll see it hitting full draw, which is what we want to see. So we're aiming for the arrow to come all the way back, and then I'll let it fly. So we'll see how they go. Well, they fly nice, come out nice and quick. Despite the big fletchings, still very fast. Get a real sizzle from the feathers because they're so big. So that sounds pretty cool. Slows them down nicely. Amazing. So I'm gonna have a play with these, take some different shots of shooting them, stick with the 115 at the moment, and then see how we're feeling in about 10 minutes once I've got a bit warmer, and have a go with the bigger bow. So, see how we get on. They really do fly so nicely. They leave the bow really nicely. Happy days. They're really nice. So I'm going to move the camera and have a bit of a play with some different shots, and maybe try and catch the sound of the fletchings as they whiz by. See how we get on. They really do come out so nicely. The sound of them flying is amazing. I'm hoping that the phone is catching it, because to me, from where I'm stood, it sounds incredible. Really happy with how they're coming out. So as you can see, I'm shooting at two big targets. I'm kind of aiming for the two centers of the circles. First one that I just shot then was a bit wild and came in a bit high. I think you can see the indent in the net just there. Second one was a bit low. I think this was the second one, and then the third one came in a bit low. So I'm just getting used to the big feathers. Obviously it is slowing the arrows down. It's definitely making a difference to how they fly. So it's nice to kind of get into a rhythm with them and just get used to how they come out the bow. So I'm gonna have a few more shots and hopefully it'll sound pretty cool with them punching into those bags. So I definitely think I can do better than that, but like I say, just getting used to the arrows at the moment. They really do slow down in the air, obviously due to the huge fletchings on them and the big wooden blunts, which do have an impact on the speed, but pretty happy with how they're coming out. You know, again, this one just caught the top of the bag. You can see its impact there. So, you know, 30 yards or so, it's not too bad for me. I always say I don't claim to be a target shooter or a field shooter. I just like shooting big heavy bows, usually over long distances, shooting up and over 200 odd yards. So yeah, to shoot close range is quite a different thing for me, and something I definitely need to improve on. So we'll have another go, see if we can get a bit tighter. Terrible. So 2 decent arrows, but this one, let's not even talk about that one. One more try, then we'll switch to the bigger bow. Yeah, the less said about my accuracy, the better. I mean, at least they're all in the same boss this time. One here, one low, and one left. So they're at least in 2 feet square. I think I might try one more time and then switch to the big bow. There we go. So a tighter group, but I was actually aiming for here and they've all gone here. So, you know, just practice. Like I say, I don't shoot short range accuracy very often, so it's always fun to do. It's a great way of getting some reps in with a bow, you know, that's heavy. So from my point of view, this is a great little exercise to just kind of get into shooting, and I've not been doing that much shooting lately. So these arrows, I've made them specifically for shooting at short range net, and you know, just literally sticking them into a net like a bodybuilding reps weights exercise, just drawing the bow and letting them go, just to get used to shooting the bows again. So yeah, so these are great. I'm really happy with how they're coming out. I'm going to switch to the bigger bow now, which is 135. This is 115, and we'll see how they come out of that. Ooh, it's getting warm up here now. It's 30 odd degrees here today, and definitely feeling rather warm. So this is the 135 Beowulf Flatbow from Joe Gibbs of Hillbilly Bows. Gonna give this a whirl, see how they come out of this, and see if I can get the bow back, to be honest. It's been a challenge shooting this lately. Some days I feel like I can pretty much get it back to full draw. Other days I'm a couple of inches off, and we'll see how we get on today. I'm just going to aim at the net for these, just to concentrate on drawing the bow rather than what I'm shooting at. Definitely not full draw, but nevertheless these arrows come out so nicely. Real life, this is real life. I'm not going to edit this out. This bow is just too much for me at some points. Today is clearly one of those days. You know, I've shot quite a few arrows in a short space of time in the last 15 minutes. So I should probably have a bit more of a rest, but as usual, I get a bit too excited and start shooting too many arrows, and yeah, this is what happens. So give it a second and then try and draw it again. The benefit of shooting in a completely unpopulated area that's private and available to us to shoot at. I've got a big net, so obviously I'm drawing high. It's just the style of drawing these heavier bows that I use. But saying that, I've never let an arrow go whilst drawing it high. I've always controlled it and just kept it on the string. So we'll try again, see how we get on this time. Feels like a couple of inches off full draw. A week or so ago I'd got this back to pretty much full draw. Today, just not happening. Bit of a break. The front end weight on these bows is unbelievable. You can hear the tension in the string. It's not like a soggy old longbow that's got no weight at the front and then all the weight comes in at the back. There's so much draw weight early on with these flat bows, and yeah, they're really bloody powerful. So there we go. So not quite full draw today, but nevertheless those arrows come out really nicely. They've actually grouped pretty closely. I'll spin the camera around when I walk around and you'll see where they've landed. I was aiming for the top of the bag and the middle of the net, so they've kind of gone where I wanted them to go. But like I say, the bow, a bit too much for me today. Try it again on another day when I've not been to the gym first thing and had a bit more food perhaps during the day, and it's not 30 degrees and I'm sweating buckets, so excuses everywhere. But yeah, really happy with how they've come out. Please do get in touch with Nick Keogh via his Instagram page if you're interested in getting some of those hand painted blunts. They're amazing. He is the nicest guy you could possibly want to meet. His craftsmanship is unbelievable, so a massive plug and shout out and thank you to Nick for those. Really happy with how they're flying, so the big fletching really works well. It's slowing them down nicely and it sounds pretty cool too. So they're going to be a perfect set of 3 practice arrows for me to shoot up here at the nets or in my garden at my net that I've got at home over a short distance to take a lot of energy out of the arrow, and it will just be a great set of 3 arrows that I'm not intending on losing or breaking because they are a bit special, and yeah, really happy with them. So yeah, thanks for watching. Do check out my other videos on my channel. I'm going to be posting more, and keep in touch. Any questions, give me a shout, and thanks a lot. I'll see you guys soon.